Hello there, I'm Nita Rose, and in this video we are going to talk about Rave Master, Volume 14, Chapters 106 to 114. Now with the army ugly fish on their way as the crew is outnumbered and has no other choice but to run, and so Haru decided to create a decoy while the others head for their base. Haru managed to get the fish guys to follow him, allowing the others to escape. Once he gets far away enough and finds a clear opening, he uses the sword to split the sea in half and surf his way to attack them using Surf a Drive. Well, that's a pretty cool move, not gonna lie. Now that being done, Haru rushes back to the others as they manage to get into the enemy's base and look around for the mermaids. But little did they know that they're being watched and then suddenly get caught. Muska tried to use his silver weapons to break the wall but gets stopped by this guy, therefore has no luck of escaping. So now the only thing left to do is wait on Haru to get them out without the enemy knowing about him. But Ruby just had to open his big fat mouth about Haru and about him being a Rave Master. Way to go, Ruby. The crews are now stuck within the prison as Haru ends up finding the underwater base only to get shot at once he arrives. But Haru managed to dodge all the bullets by using the gravity force from his sword to pull him down and crash landed on the ground. Haru raises his voice to get their attention, but then Ellie noticed a giant fish trying to attack him from behind, so she warned him. The fish luckily missed him, but then Haru gets attacked by this guy as he starts to turn him into a stone and goes in for an attack. Ellie and the others start to panic until Muska noticed that Griff is on the other side of the bars trying to get Plu out. Let pushes him out as he and the others are relying on him to help him out, but then they seem to be second guessing themselves. While Haru is struggling to survive, Griff and Plu are off to find a way to free the others and find a kitchen and end up running into a guy who looks like Griff who goes by the name Unicorn. After a little conversation, Unicorn started cooking Plu to their surprise. Unicorn informed them that he's a member of the Oni, but then Griff told him that he's a dog just like Plu, and Unicorn talks about the time when he wanted to find himself years ago, and after his short meeting with Griff and Plu, he decided to help them. Ellie and the others were about to be killed by spikes from above, but managed to get out just in time due to the bars disappearing thanks to Griff and Plu. They started to make a run for it, but then Ellie decided to stay behind to deal with this guy as Let is willing to deal with the other. Musica and Saria run down the hallway until they meet up with Griff, Plu, and their new friend Unicorn. Musica told them to rush to save Haru, but Saria told them that they must save the mermaids first as she gets an idea onto how to save Haru. Unicorn knows where they are and so he leads them the way. Meanwhile, Haru is still dealing with Stone Guy here as he's still paralyzed, but then suddenly his body turned back to normal thanks to all the mermaids that were rescued. Haru is glad that Saria found the other mermaids and willing to help him, but then he realized that they're falling down one by one as most of their magic were drained earlier. Haru begged them to stop, but they refused as they are willing to help him. But this event is causing Haru to relive the memories of his father's death, which makes him feel guilty for what's happening to him right now. After his body completely free from the stone, Haru gave one hell of a scary expression to the guy and caused him to fear and terror, and is taken down in one strike. Meanwhile, Ellie and Let are dealing with their foes. But during Ellie's battle, it is discovered that the opponent that she's facing noticed the power within her, and that he let the mermaids escape and planned to use her as a power source instead of them. Ellie cannot believe what she is hearing, and so she stands her ground and faces her opponent head on. Griff and Unicorn hijacked one of the underwater ships and used it to return the mermaids to their home, while Haru goes to help his friend and Saria decides to join him. Muska defeats most of the men while Ellie is still dealing with her opponent. She blasts his head off and then he attacks her with lightning ability, which freaks her out, which is also her weakness. But she managed to overcome her fears of thunder and takes the man down. Now it's time for Let to finish off his opponent. He always managed to find the guy due to his scent, but then once Let punched down into the ground, the man tracked him down into a dark pit, which he soon learned that they're inside the wall, and Let can't use his powers according to the guy he's facing. But then he gets proven wrong by actually breaking the wall and took him down. Let shouts out for Ellie as she was changing, managed to hear him and followed his voice. Ruby and Griff found Ellie, but then they were all found by the members of the Daru clan, as the big guy grabbed Ellie by the neck and Ruby passed out from the shock of fear. Now, before we move on to what's happening in the next chapter, the first page we see is Saria using her magic to get herself a pair of legs. I guess it was kind of important because people is going to ask how she got her legs. Anyways, on to the chapter. So, as I said before, they plan on kidnapping Ellie and using her magic as a power source for their cannon. And also the leader wants to take Ruby as well due to his wealth. But then Ellie grabs her gun and shot the guy in the face, but it they didn't leave any damages. But then Musica came along and willing to help Ellie as it goes head to head with the leader. He gets stopped by a tip of a finger, literally, and Musica suddenly gets brutally defeated and disappears. And the next page we see is Reina suddenly sensed something was wrong, but then later brushes it off as her flea heads for Saburo. Wait a minute. Did Reina somehow sense Musica's death, like a lover knowing that their spouse is dead by sensing it? No, I'm overthinking this, that can't be right. I know these two have a connection due to Silver Ray, but the two are nothing but enemies, right? Also, I'm not really upset with this because I don't think Musica is dead. It's just another fake out death scene. Now with Musica gone, Ellie and Ruby being taken away, leaving Plu behind, as Haru suddenly heard his voice and found him on the ground crying. Saria found Ellie's and Musica's weapon, and then Let came in and told him that Ellie took down one of the guys. He didn't see Musica disappear, but he suggested Ellie and Ruby had been taken away. But then suddenly, the member of the Daru clan spoke in the microphone and told him about their alliance with the Oni, and that they kidnapped Ellie and Ruby and even told him that their friend Musica is dead. Haru doesn't believe that he's gone, but he's still willing to fight for him. They started searching for Ellie and Ruby throughout the base as the enemy is waiting for them. Next we see Ellie being hooked up to some kind of machine as they absorb the Atherion from within her. Haru and Saria are in search for Ellie but have no luck in finding her. Saria starts to cry and blame herself, which causes Haru to snap and yell at her, but Let manages to calm him down as Haru apologizes to Saria. But then Plu started to act normally again as he runs down the hall letting the others follow. Meanwhile, Ellie is still stuck on the machine as her magic is being absorbed. She realizes what's going on and begs him to stop, but within one push of a button, the cannon was fired and the guys couldn't believe the amount of power that she possesses. Later on, Plu managed to find the glasses that one of the enemies were wearing earlier and gave it to Let, and after putting them on, he soon learns that they all been tricked and that Ellie, Ruby, and Musica are not even there. They all ran outside until they see something coming towards them, which is a huge amount of magic power shooting at them. Haru thinks that it's the magic from all the mermaids that they absorb into the cannon, but Saria clarified that it's too powerful, even more powerful than all the mermaids in her village. That is when Haru and Let realized it's the Atherion and understood why they took Ellie, so they used her powers against them. Let and Saria suggest on getting away, but Haru's gonna stay there and slice it in half, but the members of the Oni are 2 steps ahead of him. They knew Haru was gonna slash through it, and once he does, it's just gonna quickly regenerate itself and swallow him up. But little did they know is that Ellie ends up taking back most of her powers and destroys the equipment tangled around her, giving Haru a slight chance of survival. After that blast, it is discovered that the power split in half and never restored. Ellie took control of her power as Haru hears the fear in her voice, and Saria realized how strong their bond is even though they're far apart. The big guy here gets pissed off and willing to kill Ellie, but then she gets saved by Lilith as she's still useful to them, while the leader and Lilith take their leave, bringing Ellie with them as they detect the demon cards are nearby. While on an island near the port, Reina and her crew are going along with their plan to steal the Shadow Stones. And now we are introduced to 2 new characters who seem to be Reina's right-hand girls. Meanwhile, Haru and the others are heading towards the same location, but then they are surprised as they are attacked by their enemies, and Haru's crew takes the opportunity to board their ship. They climb down the rope, and once they get inside, they were horrified at what they saw as Daru arrived and spread his darkness around. He starts spreading nonsense about Haru and the light disappearing from the world, but his words just angered Haru and attacked him rationally, but only find out it's only a shadow and Daru is hidden somewhere else. But then suddenly Let felt another evil presence, and both him and Griff are familiar with this guy as he was a criminal who was punished and killed 15 years ago for slaying hundreds of people. And here is where the volume ends. And that wraps up this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my other parts on TikTok, and don't forget to look me on Discord and X. And I'll see you all next time. Nita Rose out.